Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for being here with the Tarot Tips. We've had some really wonderful participation lately. Lots of new people have jumped on board. It's very exciting to see so many people really around the world benefiting and enjoying the Tarot Tips. So thank you very much. The next three videos are going to be a continuation on this idea about, well, learning card meanings is great, but how do I actually do a reading? The suggestion was made to do some examples. And I thought, well, there's a couple of, essentially three different ways that you could approach reading. There's probably more than that, but I think of them as three distinct kind of parts of yourself that you might use when you're reading your tarot cards. And so we're going to look at each one in the next three videos. The first is the one that we're going to talk about today is to essentially using your thinking function, taking what you know about the cards, what you've learned, what you understand about the suits, the numbers, the elements, all that book learning sort of stuff, and applying that to what a certain collection of cards might be saying. The second method is something that has kind of occurred to me over the years in reading cards, and that is to pay attention, notice what you notice. There's so many things on every card, so many images, colors, backgrounds, whatever it is, how many people are in the card, that sort of thing, that whatever captures our attention in any given reading might really, and does often turn out to be, significant in terms of a useful interpretation of the cards. So the second method that we're going to talk about in the next video is this notice what you notice idea. And I'll do a reading, a sample reading of, I think, just three cards in each of these next three videos. We'll do like a 3-card past, present, future, and interpret them using these different ways. The third way that we're going to look at exploring is the pure intuition. Just start talking. Put your thinking mind totally out of the room and go on how you're reacting to the cards. What does it make you think of? What kinds of thoughts, emotions, concepts, images, pictures, experiences want to be coming out of your mouth? What's coming through, either psychically, intuitively, channeling, whatever hope, whatever you want to call that. So the three methods include the thinking function, essentially the learning function, the kind of middle ground, notice what you notice. This is built on, letting a little bit of intuition in, but basically relies on the thinking function and the learning function. And then the third method would be this let it rip and see what happens. Just talk about how you're reacting to the cards. So I'll try to post these next three videos a little bit sooner than I have been posting videos lately. I'll try to post them every 3 weeks or so. So we're working on threes, I guess. Three methods. We'll use three card layouts, past, present, future. And I'll try to post a video every 3 weeks. So that'll get us through the next couple of months. We'll be moving into 2016 by then. So we're going to start with this first method of using the thinking or the reasoning function. If you've watched any of the tarot tips, you know that I'm a pretty big fan of the book learning. I don't think it's all that tarot is about, but I think you have to understand the system that you're working with to get the most out of the system that you're working with. So in this method or this example, we're going to be looking at, okay, what suits did we get? Did we get minor, arcana, or major? What kind of numbers did we get? What kind of elements are represented here? What do I know about each of these cards, and how do I then fit that into a story? So that's going to be today's project. Let's go over to the tarot table and see what we get. All right, we're at the tarot table, and I think that we're going to ask a simple kind of past, present, future query because readings are more effective, more true, given a real example, I will ask a question about my work life. I'll ask a real question rather than making up a scenario and saying if this were the case, then these were the cards, because that isn't quite as juicy as something that has real life significance. So I'll ask just in general about my work life, past, present, and future. I do read tarot cards professionally. I also have a couple other little part-time things that I do. So work in general over the next, knowable period. So I'm going to pick 3 cards, past, present, future. So when you're pulling your cards, I really am a big fan of leaving them face down until you get them all pulled. It's very easy to get distracted by the card you pulled and taking your mind off the action and the intention around drawing your cards. So we're going to draw 3 cards, leave them face down. Past, okay, present, future. 3 cards. Make sure that we get them in the frame. Okay. And also reminding ourselves that we're going to be using the thinking, the reasoning, the book learning method function to rely on here. Okay, past. King of Pentacles, hard work, building, building, building. King of Pentacles has established a certain persona, has established a certain level of authority in the world, a certain pretty high degree of security there. So the past card, King of Pentacles, you get a personality card, so that implies maybe what I might have embodied. Personality cards, a whole different kind of animal, but so we're going to look at that. We're going to say Pentacles. It's kind of nice when you're asking a work question if you get a Pentacle card, since Pentacles is the earth element, and so that's speaking the same language. The king is the master of the element. All the kings are the master of their suits. So King of Pentacles, master of earth, master of the material plane. I have to say I don't really feel like a master, but that's a nice solid base from which to be looking at what the present card is. So, we're going to look at it in terms of what element, what's the vibe of the card, what's the tone of the card, what do we know about the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is very secure. Present energy, 2 of Pentacles. Wow, another Pentacle card. Sometimes you can't buy, no pun intended, you can't buy a Pentacle card when you're asking work questions, because work is about other things besides money. But anyway, we see this card of transition. We see ebb and flow. We see a card of change. So we get a 2 in the present energy situation. So we get Pentacles, Earth. So, we're really very much talking about the concrete, not just so much about how much money a person is making, but how we use our time. How do we use our resources? How do we use our physical energy in the physical world? 2 of Pentacles indicates that that there might be changes there, that there might be some juggling going on. We see a 2, and so, as I said, I have a couple of part-time jobs that could be reflected there. But 2s are, if we think about the number and where it fits in the progression, 2 is the beginning of a new cycle. So, this would indicate to me that there's new things on the horizon. Maybe I'd be smart to try some new things, get involved in some different kinds of activities. So we come from this place of kind of some rigidity, I would say, and also some attainment, but then the 2 puts us back into a new beginning with Pentacles. So let's see, what's ahead? Hierophant card. Now, interestingly, the Hierophant is ruled by Taurus. Taurus is another earth sign. It's really pretty unusual that anybody asks a work question and we get 3 earth cards. Kind of a nice confirmation there. What do we know about the Hierophant card? It is ruled by Taurus. It does come up reversed. I'll leave it reversed since that's how I turned it over. We'll just leave it that way. So the Hierophant is the teacher. Let me just turn it right side up for the benefit of just looking at the card a little bit, and then I'll turn it the other way around. So we can see that the Hierophant is informing or guiding these people who have come to him or her for information, for leadership, for some sort of conference or advice or training, teaching, learning, something like that. I'm going to leave it reversed. So if we're saying Hierophant energy might be coming, if it's reversed, I really would have to say, okay, what does a reverse card mean? A reverse card means that the meaning of the card is somewhat diluted, maybe a little bit resisted, maybe not quite as forceful as it would be if the card were in its upright position. So I would look at that Hierophant card and say teaching opportunities might be coming. There might be opportunities for leadership. There might be something coming that I might not be totally on board with. That's the reversed aspect of it. What else do we know about the Hierophant card? Card number 5. Let's see, so it does progress from the 2 into the 5. The Hierophant is about working through challenges. So I'm going to look at that as a whole and say, what would be the story behind this? Okay, here's somebody who has established a certain degree of solidity, security, stability, identification also with their work with the King of Pentacles. That one's Cardinal Earth, the personality card, Capricorn. And now they, in the present energy, are experiencing some shifting, some changing. Back at the 2, we're in a new phase, a beginning phase, a phase where things might feel a little unsettled, but then grounding itself with at least opportunities to teach, to train, to advise, to conference with other people, some new opportunities for, I would say, teaching there. So that's a simple, the cards sort of helped us out there today with a pretty consistent theme. Thank you very much. And that's always a help as well. So pay attention to numbers, paying attention to major arcana, minor arcana. You have 2 minors here and 1 major. We have sort of a fulfillment card here and then a new beginning here with the 2. And then a different persona or different identification with the Hierophant card. So hopefully you can see the thinking, the book learning, the what do I know about the cards and how does that help me tell a story. In the next video, we'll start blending in a little bit of intuition when we talk about notice what you notice. But for this time, this is the TarotWorks Tarot Tips, and thank you very much, Tarot Cards, for giving us a pretty clear, concise, and a reading that had to do, that the elements reflected the topic of our conversation, which was work. Pentacles, Pentacles, well, yeah, 2 Pentacles and then an Earth card. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.